me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Carol Sue, please.
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Ron Miller.
Present.
Chris Armstrong.
Here.
Approval of minutes from the March 20th, 2013 meeting.
I'd make a motion for the approval of the March 20th, 2013 meeting as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Approval of claims in the amount of $202,434.29.
I would make a motion for the approval of the claims in the amount of $202,434.29 as presented.
I've reviewed the claims. They appear to be in order, so I would second that motion. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. There are no licenses to be considered today. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No.
None.
Okay. Are there any visitor comments? Okay. Under old business, we have code enforcement officer regarding two properties, 917, please come on up, 917 Vine Street and 604 Culbertson.
Both of those properties have been abated and are clean now.
Okay, thank you very much. Under new business, we have Vicki Bird with the Hospital Foundation. Hi. Can you come up and talk to you for just a minute?
Okay.
All right. Can you state your name, please?
Vicki Bird, Logansport Memorial Hospital.
Okay.
And I'm here to request permission to utilize the city streets for our 5th annual Oh Baby Run. It starts at Riverside Park, so it's at 16th and High, goes down Davis, or High Street to Davis, and then across our River Bluff Trail up 6th, and then ends at the west gate of Riverside. The money we use, or the money we get from this, goes towards the Family Birth Center and services and equipment.
Okay.
It's our 5th year. We work with the Sheriff Reserves, and they have stations along the route for safety.
Do you are you needing any barricades?
No, I don't think we do. I think we're okay. Last year we did not use barricades, and it seemed to be fine. I think the reservists helped.
Sure.
A lot.
Well, I would make two requests.
Okay.
Number one, that you inform the street department and LPD.
Okay.
I understand you're going to have the sheriff's department with you, and I appreciate that. But coordinate with them and inform them of the intent and the time and all that. And secondly, to provide a certificate of insurance naming the city as additionally insured.
We will do that.
And I'm sorry?
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay. And with those two conditions, I would make the motion that we approve this request.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right. I'm sorry.
I would request also that no markings. I don't think you've had any markings on the street in the past.
No.
Do not paint any markings
Right.
on the street. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gets a little confusing to the drivers. Okay.
Okay. We'll get you a certificate next week.
Okay. It's been moved and properly seconded to approve this request. Is there any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes on a vote of 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Larry Lowry. Is Larry here? Okay, this is also a request that we have to consider each and every year. I think it's pretty simple. It's the request to seek permission to use city streets on Monday, May 27th for the purpose of the parade and the program in honor of Memorial Day. It's pretty straightforward. They've done it for a number of years, and I would make the motion that we approve this request.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any other discussion? All right, we'll notify the proper departments of the intent to do this. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, it passes on a vote of 3-0. Okay. Fire Chief Mark Strong. You have we have a request for retirement from Mike Rush. Is Mike here today? Don't see him? Okay.
After 35 years, Mike has decided to retire. I'd just like to add, Mike was a great firefighter, was my boss when I came on, and been held many positions in the department over the years, been investigator, captain, assistant chief, and he's going to be missed.
I wish he was here myself so that I could
Sure.
express my own gratitude towards him. But I was going to tell him that I taught him a lot over the years, but actually it was the other way around. When I came on, Mike was the fire investigator and was very good at what he did. And I personally owe him a debt of gratitude for all the training and extra time that he spent with me. I have no doubt that he's going to do fine and prosper in his retirement because he's been talking about it ever since I've known him, and that's been 24 years.
Absolutely. I also like to report I have 2 people at PERF right now in the process, and I have 2 others that have appointments at Public Safety Medical. So
Okay.
try to get back up to full staff.
Okay. On the request by Mike Rush, I would make the motion that we accept his request for retirement effective March 25th, 2013.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All right. All in favor of accepting the retirement of Mike Rush, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Okay. Mike Clark. Good morning. You have,
I submitted 2 letters for your consideration for the approval of the hiring of Daniel Fagan and Andrew Strong as probationary officers for the Logansport Police Department. Dan Fagan is 29. He lives here in Walton, and he's married, has a daughter. He has an associate's degree, and he's completed all the required testing, and he's been a reserve with the police department for a short time also. Andrew Strong currently lives in Canby, Indiana, but he's going to relocate to the Logansport area. He's currently looking at this time. He's in the Marine Corps for 8 years, and I believe he's engaged, or if I may have that wrong, I suppose I ought to ask him. I know he's not married. But I would entertain any questions you have.
yeah, it's probably, I think you started to address the issue, but I'm thinking state statute prevents us from hiring anybody who lives outside Cass County. I think the state statute reads that they can live in an adjacent county.
They can live into a continuing county of the county they work.
Right.
But he's, I mean, he doesn't own a home. He's renting down there and stuff. He's going to be immediately coming to this area.
Okay. I'm happy to have Andrew on board. Known him for a long time. I do think that today's March 26th, and this would become effective on April 1st, and I believe that we need to have an address, a local address on file before April 1st in order for this to be effective, in order to meet the state statute.
Okay.
So Andrew, get an address in Logansport before April 1st. Okay. Is there any questions?
Yeah, Chief, if you would, just refresh our memories on what the selection process has been like, how long this has been going on, from advertising to the final selection process, how many candidates have been evaluated to get down to 2?
It's been, my best recollection, we've ran a couple, but approximately 6 months time period from start to finish. I think we started with 42, and we ended up with 6 finalists. You go through the pre-app, which is just basic information that they turn in on an application form. Then they do a physical agility test. which we have ours mirrored with the exit standards for the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. Once they pass through that, they take a written exam. Once they pass through that, they have an extensive background investigation done. Then they have an interview process, a polygraph, and then once they've completed all those, we evaluate and list our top candidates in order, and we try and select numerically from the most we feel qualified for the position, and then we recommend them to the Board of Works.
Great, thank you.
You said 42?
I believe that's what we started with.
That's in this last process that started probably, what, August, September of last year?
Yes.
So that doesn't include what we have the first go-round, maybe 30 or 40 applicants?
Yeah,
That
that
was
was 30-some, if I remember right.
So
Yes,
we've
sir.
had 75 or so applicants.
That's correct.
And out of that pool of 75, we've hired in the last year, what, about 4 or 5?
5.
We've hired,
These two will make 5, yes, sir.
so 5 out of 75,
Yes, sir.
yeah. And out of this latest group of 42, we were hiring these 2. How many more are there out of that 42 that could potentially be hired?
I believe there are 3 additional.
3 that have passed all the certifications, the polygraph and all that?
Yes, sir.
So 3, or a total of 5 out of 42 in this next group, but
They haven't passed the polygraph yet. Because it's a monetary thing, we have to pay for that. We try and get the best selection and then send those to them after
yeah.
we feel that we get the best qualified person
Sure.
for the
No,
job.
I was just kind of curious about the statistics as far as how many actually develop into a police officer from the beginning. So we're at 5 out of 75 right now, potentially 7 out of 75, so about 10%.
Yes. We'll lose a few along the way. We'll lose a few in the agility test. We'll lose a couple in the written test and the background, the polygraph. It just, you would think the numbers were higher, but that's what they are.
Do we have any kind of recruiting program where we actually advertise or
We
to
do.
reach out to other communities?
We put it on our website,
Uh-huh.
our local website, and then we have Lieutenant Swan will call the Law Enforcement Academy and put it on theirs also.
I see.
So that attracts in a lot of different police officers and agencies. There are some cadets that graduate from the academy that can sponsor themselves and really don't have a department to go to. So that's a good possible way to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we just started a Facebook account for the police department.
I did.
So we're going to start putting it on that to try and reach out to more people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have.
Me too.
Any questions? No? I would make the motion that we approve the request to hire Andrew Strong and Daniel Fagan effective April 1st, 2013.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor of approving the hiring of Andrew Strong and Daniel Fagan, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It passes on a vote of 3-0. If you're going to have them stick around, we'll swear them in
Yes, sir.
afterwards? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, under reports, Building Commissioner.
Good morning, everyone. I supplied a report for your review. A brief summary. The ongoing construction projects that we have within the city are moving smoothly at this point, working around the weather like everybody else is. The code enforcement officer and myself are in the process of doing rental property inspections. We're trying to do an average of 20 properties per week, and we're working through the issues. It's going to be a slow process. Very few of them are passing the inspection, which is going to require a follow-up re-inspection after 30 days to correct any violations that we find. 207 and 211 East Linden Avenue. Thanks to the street department's help, we were able to get the structure removed and get a fence around the perimeter of that area where the wall had collapsed into the river. We are in the permitting process with the Army Corps of Engineers. I did talk to the person that I'm dealing with in Louisville this morning, and they are reviewing it. He could not give me a commitment as to when it would be released. He thought it was relatively simplistic process on their part, since we were not depositing anything in the river. And so I would expect no problems there. It's a matter of going through their process to get the permit back. 512 North Street, we did go in this week, again, with the street department's help and B&G Contractors Equipment to assist the street department. We did clean up the section of the building that we had done an emergency demolition on last Saturday. So now the building is secure and all the debris has been removed from the site. We're still in the process of completing the demolition on that building that was approved about 60 days ago through some ordinance issues that we've got to work through for the downtown overlay. But we're moving forward on that. That's pretty much the summary of my report for the week. If there's any questions.
I'd make a motion that we accept the report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Bill. Code Enforcement Officer.
Good morning again. Have in front of you my weekly report. I apologize to you when I typed in and entered notices to appear. For some reason, the addresses for the notices to appear, there are 11 of them, didn't print out. The number 11 did, but that's it. So I apologize. I know there's at least one, maybe two of the people that are requested to appear that are here. So I'll go through them and present it to you. First one is Amber Frenza at 420 Bartlett Street. People at this residence were notified on the 15th. However, I've not got the letter back stating that they received it. They've not signed for it yet. Is Amber here? Okay, next I have Deborah Thompson at 423 Tangy Street. Deborah did sign, or someone at the residence did sign for it. Is anybody here representing Deborah? Okay, you want to come? That is your mom? Okay, you want to come on up here? Okay, what we've got here is what appears to be an old tree back by the alley that someone has cut down and just left lay there. Can you tell me what your intentions are to do with the tree, the dead tree that's there?
I didn't know that I had to do anything with it. I cut it down and I actually stacked the pile of wood on top of rocks, so it's off the ground. I didn't know I had to throw it away or whatever.
Okay, it appears to me that it's been there for a while.
It's been there for at least a year.
Okay. Can you get it cleaned up?
Yeah.
How long will you need to get it cleaned up?
I just need a place to put it, I guess.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Give it 2 more weeks?
Yeah, can I see the photographs?
There are no photographs here. I don't know where they're at.
Less than 10 pieces of wood.
Yeah.
No higher than this high.
And you cut it down yourself, correct?
Yeah.
Dan Williams, is that something that the Department of Public Works traditionally does if the homeowner or the resident removes trees or brush, we pick it up ourselves?
He can get it out
to the alley.
yes.
Is it right? Can't go into the yard. So if you get it out to the alley, then our crews will pick it
Do I
up.
have to mark it, like with a tag or anything?
No, if you just,
Put it out there?
yeah, and if, this is Mr. Williams, he's our superintendent of public works. I would encourage you to talk to Mr. Williams and make arrangements, maybe exchange phone numbers, and you can give him a call when it gets out there, and then they'll make arrangements to get it picked up.
All right.
Okay? Thank you.
It has to be outside the fence. It can't be inside the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get it out there and notify him, the guys are really good about picking it up, and they'll do that for you.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Mayor
thank you.
Franklin,
Yeah.
can you get his name and address for me, please?
Yes, please state your name and address.
Levi Thompson, 423 Tangy.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Levi. Thanks for your cooperation, for being here today.
Okay. Next is Mr. John Rush. I believe Mr. Rush is here. Mr. Rush, you want to come on up? I'll show you the picture. He has made some progress. I was over there earlier this morning, and the progress that he has made. This backside of the garage is all still there, as is that. This is cleaned up and this is cleaned up. However, he evidently is not aware that there's a burn ordinance in the city of Logansport. It's a block right there. It's evident that he's using that for a burn pit. The trailers are empty now. Everything that's inside this fence, this is the garage right here. It doesn't appear that it's been cleaned up. He's just built a plywood fence out across to conceal that right there. Mr. Rush, I've spoken with him before in the past, and he doesn't feel like it's his responsibility to clean up along the creek. He lives along Goose Creek, and some of this is right along the banks of the creek, and he doesn't feel that it's his responsibility to clean the creek bank up.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Rush. Thanks for being here. Can I get you to state your name and address for the record?
John Rice, 511 Schultz.
Okay, John, thanks for being here. I'm not exactly sure. I would say you may be right in that it may not be your responsibility to clean up.
The city before about that creek.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's your responsibility to clean the creek.
They used to have the jail people. They used to come down there and clean.
Sure, I think that we're not talking about
15 years ago.
Yeah, we're not talking about the creek right now. I'm just looking at the photographs of the other material that's laying there. Do you intend to do anything with that?
I got scaffolding beside that garage, probably what you're looking at, and it's got siding on it. I'm in the process of re-siding my house.
I'm just looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I see at least 11 car tires there.
Them are not car tires, them are house, mobile home tires.
Well,
And I do a lot of work with my mom, and I work on trailers.
Sure.
At the mobile home, I got 3 trailer parks I work on.
Okay, I see a sofa.
I
see a lot of debris there.
I saw that. I set that sofa out. I got a problem with the kids getting on the school bus. That's the pickup spot. I tagged them before I got the summons. Somebody stole my stickers. So I picked them back up because the cushions was thrown out in the road. So I picked them back up and put them behind my garage again.
Okay, what day is your trash pickup day?
Today.
Today, okay.
Tuesdays.
So it's
picking
today.
up today
because everything's a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I stuck them out there Monday, tagged them, went out there, the tags are gone.
Okay. Let me, I assume it is your desire to get it cleaned up.
I got rid of the couch. I got rid of it last week. They picked them up because I went and bought new stickers, but I didn't put them on until after the school bus left.
Okay.
And the trash and debris in my yard, last week, I got 2 recycling dumpsters in my yard that blew down the street. This happens all the time when the wind's blowing.
Sure.
And it blows down along that creek and everything else. But I do take care of that creek a lot.
I'm not so concerned about the creek.
The debris that's coming down through there when it floods.
You're saying that that debris blew all this stuff up into your yard?
That's in my yard. I'll take the responsibility for that.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Your yard. I'm not talking about what washes down the creek. You can't be held responsible for that. Okay, but what I am concerned about is the yard, this trailer full of looks like building materials here.
Which trailer is that one?
Well, I don't know. There's one that's got, it looks like a red tarp on it.
Okay, that's got my siding on it too.
Okay.
I got blue siding sitting on that trailer because I'm taking the white off.
Okay, what's on top of it?
Decking board.
Okay, and this looks like outdoor furniture that's just turned upside down in another trailer?
That was a wicker chair. It was on the.
Okay.
It was on my porch.
Okay.
Outside wicker chair.
Okay.
and my son stepped on it, went through it, so I still got it up on top of the trailer.
Okay, when do you intend to clean all of this up?
I've already probably got that cleaned up.
Those
Okay.
trailers are clean, they're empty now.
Okay, hey, first of all, I appreciate you being here. It's so much easier when we can talk face to face like this and we have a clear understanding of what the desire is. I'm gonna suggest that we as the board give you 2 more weeks to get the area cleaned up to the satisfaction of the code enforcement officer. He's very aware of what the code is and what's allowable and what's not, what's permitted and what's not. And would ask you to get that cleaned up. 2 weeks from now, we'll be back here in this room for another meeting. And at that,
Everything behind that privacy fence.
the request is to work with the code enforcement officer. He can inform you of what's acceptable and what's not.
Okay.
And we'll give you a couple more weeks to get it cleaned up. If we see progress, if we see you're working towards it, then we're we're accommodating. And
My biggest problem is I haven't worked in 5 years,
uh-huh,
and money's hard,
sure,
and it's $42 to take that out to the dump,
uh-huh,
a truckload.
uh-huh,
And that's why a lot of it's sitting there,
uh-huh,
because I ain't got quite a truckload,
uh-huh.
and
But
the money's hard.
it appears to me as if though you're bringing it in. You're bringing these,
I do 3-skirt trailers.
Uh-huh.
A lot of that is really landscape timbers.
uh-huh.
And I got a bunch of landscape timbers behind that one shed right there. When
The
you drive
trailer
up the drive.
tires, are, they
I
didn't.
can move them.
Okay. Those are the things, if we're seeing improvement, we're willing to work with you. But to bring equipment there, technically, if you're bringing that equipment there to run your business, it's not zoned as a business. Your residents,
I can't actually store nothing there.
no, technically you cannot. It goes a lot easier if you store things there, if you want to store things there, that you do it in a neat and orderly fashion so you don't draw attention to yourself. But yeah, you're not allowed to operate your business out of your home. So I'm willing to work with you, and if we see progress, we're certainly happy to do that. We would much rather have this type of relationship where we can work together. But I would advise you to work with the code enforcement officer. He can tell you what the standard is, give you the opportunity to get it cleaned up. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll wait on the recommendation of the code enforcement officer at that time. If you've cleaned it up satisfactorily, then we'll be okay with it.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
Because when it's muddy back there,
Okay. But you'll have it,
That's why that
you'll have it
trailer-
cleaned up in 3 weeks?
should have it all cleaned up in
You-
3 weeks.
Okay, you will have it cleaned up in 3 weeks. If not, we take action in 3 weeks. Agreed?
Yep.
Okay. I would make the motion that we extend a 3-week grace period to Mr. Rush to deal with and clean the property to the satisfaction of the code enforcement officer. That property in question is at 511 Schultz Street.
Could I ask you another question?
Hold on just a second. We have a motion.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? You can ask the question.
Who owns the creek?
I can't tell you who owns the creek.
Because, see, anytime I needed a building permit or something, I'd go through National Resources out in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and
And I called them up and I said, hey, you guys need to do something about the weeds and stuff in this creek because you own it.
sure,
No, we don't.
yeah,
That was their answer.
yeah. I can't answer.
I've been cleaning the creek up.
I can't answer who owns the creek. I really can't.
I have been cleaning the creek
Well, I
up.
appreciate your
But
dedication
like
to
I
the
said,
creek.
I don't work.
Okay,
Gas for my chainsaws and stuff,
Mhm.
it gets a little expensive.
yeah. If, first of all, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Do you have any further discussion, any more questions?
Yeah, I was promised somebody would take them 2 trees down in front of my house because they are rotten.
Hmm.
Don Crane told me 12 years ago, if I have them topped, the city would take them down.
No.
They're still standing. It cost me $900 to have them topped.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that, as it was before I was mayor.
Well, they said he told me when they put the new culvert in on Schultz,
Yeah.
when they had the street blocked off, they'd come over and take them down.
Mhm. I wish I had an answer for you. I simply don't. Don hasn't been employed with the city for 15 months now.
He
and-
quit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the request to extend to Mr. Rush a 3-week grace period, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. You got 3 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rush.
Mr. Rush, I would like to give you that name and number there. That's Chris Gomer. He's the zoning administrator. If you could call him and discuss with him what the zoning requirements are for a fence. I don't believe that for a privacy fence, you can just nail plywood up. There's restrictions that
I'll
you
take
had
the
to.
plywood down, put regular.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Next, we have property owned by Kayla Castro at 810 North Pearl Street. Is anybody here representing her?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please state your name and address.
Edith Daniel, 810 North Pearl Street. I'm representing Kayla Castro.
Okay.
Are you the tenant there?
No.
Okay. I want to commend you. You have made some progress, or that whoever is the property manager there has made some progress, or the tenant one. However, when I drove past to do the final inspection this morning, this wood pile was still here. There's still several bags of trash and cardboard that are laying outside of the dumpster. The mattress on the front porch is gone. However, somebody has moved a recliner onto the front porch now, which is against city ordinance.
Okay. So I will let the tenant know because they just rented that property last month. And the woods in the back, there is like I didn't know that that's against the law over here, but I can remove that right away. That's the only thing that it is. You said that's the other trash right there, the bags, but I guess the tenant has to put it in the trash. Okay, so we'll go and talk with them today after finishing this.
Okay, so if you can have it cleaned up within 1 week?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll give Ron a chance to see the photographs. I would make the motion that we extend a 1-week grace period regarding the property at 810 North Pearl Street and give you the opportunity to get it cleaned up yourself, and we'll revisit it next week here at the Board of Works, next Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and if there's no action taken by next Wednesday at 9 o'clock, we will order the property cleanup ourselves.
All right.
All right, thank you very much.
you.
All right,
Second.
thanks for being here. It's been moved and properly seconded to extend a 1-week grace period regarding the property at 810 North Pearl Street. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes on a vote of 3-0.
Next is Marcus Mandragale at 1300 Liberty Street. And again, this is one that we sent out. It was stamped that notice was served on the 15th of March.
How was notice served?
Certified mail, but no one signed for it, and we've not got it back yet. But it was stamped. So I will lay this to the side for now unless somebody from Marcus Mandragale is here. If not, then I'll wait until we get the proper notice before we get confirmation on the notice. Next is Brian Botten at 814 State Street. Is anybody here for Brian Botten? This complaint came in from a neighbor. The primary complaint was, well, you can see in the pictures what the complaint was, but the neighbor's primary concern was the wood pile and pallets that are leaning up against her fence there. It's tearing her fence down. I drove past this morning and everything except the wood pile and the pallets has been cleaned up. So I will leave it up to the board for them to make the decision what action they want to take.
Everything except the wood and the pallets?
Except the wood pile and the pallet that's leaning up against the neighbor's fence who initiated the complaint on this. She said that several times last summer they had to go out and rebuild their fence. Proper notice was made and they did sign for it on the back, the very back page is where the resident did sign a certified letter for the notice to appear.
I believe that the city ordinance, the way it's written now, allows for storage of firewood, but it limits the amount.
It limits the amount to 5 rack or 5 brick. And it also states it must be properly stacked or neatly stacked and organized. My thought is if we're getting complaints from neighbors because they're just throwing it and leaning up against the neighbor's fence and it's causing the neighbor's fence to fall over, that's my concern. I would also add that this is probably the third violation that I've issued to this residence between vehicles and trash in the yard.
They have cleaned up the car parts
Yes.
and the debris next to the garage.
Right.
And have they been properly served with U.S. Postal Service?
Yes, the last page and what you've got right there is where they set up for it.
Suggestions? They have made some progress, and I appreciate that. Have you had any more contact with them?
No.
Okay, so.
I've had several phone calls from the neighbor,
Uh-huh.
but nothing from him. Even though every letter I send out has my department phone number on it, where they have the option to call me.
I make a motion, we give them another week to clean the rest of it up.
I'll send them another letter then. That was 824 State, right?
814.
814.
I would second the motion to grant a one-week extension with the hopes that they would make even more progress. We're going to have some good weather this week. Maybe they'll be able to get it done. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. That's a one-week extension.
Okay, I had 819 Helm Street, large flat screen TV that was in the alley. That one has been cleared by the property owner. Next is 207 West Miami, William and Amy Kistler. They were properly served, signed for the letter, William Kistler did. On 320, is there anybody here representing William Kistler? Mr. Kistler had some furniture, residential furniture, that would normally be used on the inside of a residence on his front porch. In addition, he had a mattress that was laying right next to the alley. In my reinspection this morning, the furniture on the front porch was gone. However, the mattress that was by the alley, all he did there was just move it up by the chain link fence at the end of his driveway. And I would add that this is at least the third violation that I've issued on Mr. Kistler and his wife in the past year.
And where's the mattress at now?
You see the fence in the background of the picture?
Uh-huh.
He just moved it up to the end of his driveway, laying right next to the fence. It's the same mattress with the same sheet on it.
Suggestions? He did make some progress. Cleaned off the front porch.
Cleaned off the front porch.
And make the motion that we extend one more week, give him the opportunity to completely finish the project. I appreciate his efforts, although they're not satisfactory at this point. It's in the form of a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of extending for a one-week period the time to clean up the property located at 207 West Miami, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pass on a vote of 3-0.
Next is Lori Galbranson at 1812 George Street. Is there anybody here?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you Mr. Galbranson?
No,
Okay,
my name's Rick Baxter.
okay. State your name and address then, please, Rick.
Rick Baxter, 1812 George Street.
Okay. Mr. Baxter, was given notice on the first letter, February 28th with the door hanger, and I sent out a letter on March 1st advising him of the violation of the hot tub that was sitting in his driveway, cement mixer, buckets, trash, and other debris in and around the garage. No response to that letter. March 1st, I sent Mr. Branson out a certified letter, which, for Baxter. Rick, you said your first name? He did sign for it. One question I've got, did you talk with your neighbor there that owns the house? Did he give you permission to put the hot tub inside the garage there?
Yes.
Okay.
I got permission to use that garage.
Okay, the hot tub was moved across the alley inside the garage. The problem I've got with it is the garage has no garage doors on it. Mr. Denny that owns the house next door, he was cited last year because he had debris in the garage with no garage door on it. This was prompted by a neighbor complaint also. You can see there the debris and stuff that's in the yard. Drove past there this morning, there's been no progress made on it. I would add that in addition to that, there was a vehicle, an SUV, and a trailer that was full of trash that was sitting in his front yard that proper notice was given to him for 20 days to abate the trailer and the SUV. That was not done. We did impound and tow the trailer and the SUV last week. Do you have anything to say, Mr. Baxter?
It would have all been taken care of if I'd had the money. I have had no work since October. I don't know. As soon as the weather breaks, I've got jobs lined up to do. But it's all a question of when the good Lord's going to smile on us to give us some decent weather.
You have permission from the neighbor to use the garage, is that right?
Yes, sir. That hot tub,
Uh-huh.
as soon as I get the money to get the vehicle out, I impound the trailer back. Hot tub will be gone, and now I'm not totally sure what is being expected of me as far as the backyard's concerned. It might look like a pile of trash stacked up there, but there's good siding. There's some metal there that I need to use to finish the job up. There's an old door there that I can get rid of that, but I'm just not absolutely certain what is being expected of me as far as cleaning this up.
Uh-huh.
Baxter, your garage, is there any room in your garage where you can put that stuff
It's
in there?
completely full of stuff.
And the neighbor's garage, could you put some of it?
There's no door on it. I mean, yeah, I could put some of it in there, but as he's already stated, there's no door on it. I don't want to get him in trouble. He's told me, he said, use it anytime you want.
Uh-huh.
But, you know,
Yeah. So the door, the missing door, does that concern you that somebody would steal the stuff if you put
oh,
it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I give you an example. I had two 16-foot deck boards and 10-foot 2x12 in there. I put it in there so it'd be out of the weather.
Uh-huh.
It was gone in a couple of days.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the ordinance says with the hot tub. Is there any restrictions on the size? If you put a dollar sticker on the hot tub and sits by the alley?
I don't believe so. Not
That thing's, that's a 10x10 tub.
Is it?
I wouldn't even ask you guys to take it.
I'm just
It would
trying-
cost them more than $1 to get rid of it.
Oh, everything we pick up costs more than
you know.
Yeah, we're just looking for a way to make the improvements. We're trying to come up with a way to help you.
All right,
Can
can I make a suggestion?
Is the hot tub, you intend to rehab that, to use it?
I got the unit and everything for it. I got it free. It's sitting alongside the road, said take free. I work on them. Yeah, I plan on maybe trying to get it going, sell it or whatever.
Okay. Well, I think that's where we run into the problem. You know, somebody else had already set it out to get rid of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you took it to your house. And, you know, I understand your long-term desire to try to rehab it and do something with it, but in the meantime, it's creating a problem.
So I'll get rid of it.
Okay, and that's what I was going to suggest to you, the possibility that, you know, if nothing else, maybe take a Sawzall and cut it up. That might make it a little more manageable so that it could be loaded into a truck.
Okay.
And, you know, a dollar sticker and a Sawzall, you could probably get that into two pieces and make it so that it's manageable and can be lifted and taken away when the regular trash route runs. We're trying to help you come up with a solution here, Rick, and I appreciate the predicament you're in. But I also think that we're probably better off if we could get this materials put in that other garage. You know, it's sitting out right now. I feel your pain, but at the same time, I'm sorry?
It's rough.
Yeah, I'm sure it is rough.
I mean, I've never had a winter where I absolutely did nothing for 4 months.
Uh-huh.
Never.
What we run into, though, is, you know, neighbor complaints and things like that, you know, it's up to us to enforce the standard that's been passed by our city
I
council.
understand. There's no hard feelings. I probably know who complained. There's no hard feelings.
And I don't. I don't know who
Yeah.
did complain. All I know is we have 11 of these today. It's very common for us to have to deal with these issues, and I want to give you every opportunity to deal with this yourself. So, because the other option is, if the city has to take the action on this and clean it up, then we add, you know, several $100s lien on the property, and it only costs more money. It goes the wrong way. So I would encourage you in every way to, if the neighbor is allowing you to utilize that garage, to get this material out of sight. Yes, it's probably going to be in the garage, and yes, you could probably see in the garage. I would encourage you, if you had building material there that you could use, that you would cover those garage doors that you're talking about, sort of seal them up so that people can't get in there, and it takes care of two problems that way. It secures the garage a little bit, and it hides the material that you want to save from view from the public. So, you know, you haven't worked in about 4 months, and I'm willing to give you another week if you're willing to commit to getting this stuff moved over into the other garage and out of sight.
The thing of it is, I'm going to have to build some type of a door.
Or
on
just
that
board it
other
up.
garage.
Could you just board it up? It's a temporary fix, but
Still, the thing, if I got to buy the materials to do it, I
Okay.
can't ask
Okay.
them to do it, you know.
Sure. I think the only other possible solution here is if we, the city, goes and cleans it up for you, and then we would attach a lien to the property. It would be several $100s before it's over.
I don't need that.
Can you get it in the garage, and we'll run the risk that maybe nobody will break in there and take it?
I'll do something. Is there
Is
there any way I could get a couple of weeks?
Okay. I think that's doable, as long as we see.
Because that,
As long as we see a
hopefully
commitment, Rick,
the
that
weather will break.
as long as we see a commitment that you're making an effort, I'm willing to work with you.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Any questions? I would make a motion that we extend for a 2-week period the opportunity for, regarding the property at 1812 George Street. We'll give Rick Baxter a 2-week period to get the property cleaned up. And I asked code enforcement to follow up on it, get back with us prior to the 2-week period, which would be April 10th. So if you could get back with us on the 9th or so and let us know how that's going, maybe you two exchange phone numbers so that you can communicate with each other, and we'll follow up with it.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Rick, thank you for being here, and I appreciate your cooperation and trying to work with us.
The last one I've got is 1308 Spear Street. I'm going to go ahead and show you the pictures on this one because this has been an ongoing problem with the neighbors. The gentleman has two huge piles, fairly large piles of brick in his backyard next to the alley along with the boat. I've made several contacts, several attempts to contact the property owner of record. No response whatsoever. And again, this is one of them that I sent a letter out on March 14th, notice to appear. March 15th, U.S. Postal Service indicates they left a notice for him advising him that he had a notice to appear. I had a certified letter. He's not signed for it as of yet. He's not gotten confirmation back that he declined it or signed for it, either one. But that's one that I really think we probably need to do something with fairly quickly. And the reason I'm saying that is because it seems like about 2 times a week at least, I get nasty phone calls from the property owners, the neighbors around there complaining about it.
Did you say there's a pool here also?
No, there's no pool.
Okay.
Yes, there is a pool in the backyard. It's inside the privacy fence that it doesn't appear to be that it's being used. The neighbors haven't complained about that, and I haven't pushed that issue since it is inside of a privacy fence.
Okay. Is this house vacant?
Yes, the house is vacant. It appears that it's been vacant for quite some time.
Okay. And let's see.
I believe it's Walton or Galveston is the owner of record address.
Okay.
Like I say, I get complaints on that one at least twice a week, if not more often.
Owner of record. I'd make the motion that we order the property cleanup at 1308 Smead Street.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. While I'm thinking of it, I have the first one that we dealt with today, Mr. Rush, 511 Schultz Street.
Yes.
If you could contact Mr. Rush, and as I looked at the calendar, I realized I won't be here 3 weeks from now. And if we could move that to April 24th instead of April 17th, so it would actually be 4 weeks instead of 3 weeks.
All right. That's all I've got.
Are we not doing anything with 420 Bartlett? You just kind of skipped over it because they weren't here.
That is one that the letter, we've got notice from the post office, they received the letter on the 15th, but they have not signed for it. At the mayor's request, unless it's something like the one on Smead Street that we just talked about, at the mayor's request, we haven't gotten a signature confirmation that they either declined it or accepted it. He doesn't want to take any action on it. He wants to give them an extra week or two. He wants to wait till we get
Notice.
that they accepted it or declined it. Thank you.
Okay, I would make the motion that we accept the code enforcement officer's report in its entirety.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Any questions for code enforcement? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Okay. Mr. Williams.
Good morning.
How's
I
your week going?
respectively submit my report for the Public Works Department for the City of Logansport. If you have time, I would appreciate it if you review it and hopefully approve it. Any questions, I'd be glad to address them.
Do we have any type of official weather measuring station? I know we had a good 10 inches of snow at my house, but is there an official measurement here in Logansport?
It is, but it varies from one end of town. We'll get 6 inches. If you go to the east end, depending, you'll get a difference.
I saw on
But
TV
there's
where,
several places where I actually took a tape measure and we had at least 10 inches.
Yeah.
And that's not drifting, that's just right on the streets.
I saw where Kokomo had 14 inches.
Yeah.
So we were lucky. I noticed that on your report. You
Yeah.
plowed 10 inches of wet, heavy snow. And I don't question the number, but I was just wondering if we had an official measuring station. And do we have an official weather station behind the fire station? But how's the rest of your week going?
Good, great.
I see cemetery department. I think we're ahead again of last year's
Yes,
numbers.
sir, we are.
Total internments so far for 2013, 38, about 12 a month. Any questions for the Superintendent of Public Works? I make the motion, we accept the report as presented. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor
Thank you.
signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Police Chief Clark, back again.
Morning again.
Morning.
I really don't have a report, just maybe a couple updates. We have started another hiring process to try and get us up to full staff, police department. Up until this Friday, they'll be able to turn in full applications. We've already had the written and the physical agility portion, and then we'll start the background and proceed from there. So we are currently in that. We're down to 12 could be investigated, proceed from that point. The second thing that I had was last week, I am mandated by my position by the state to have police executive training at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy for 40 hours. And they offer it once a year. I had that last week. I also took Assistant Chief Brian Ellis with me. And we completed and graduated that course and training. And my intent is to have all my lieutenants and above go through that training. It's great training. They cover a variety of topics that an administrator faces and different avenues to take, and it was very helpful. So next year, Lieutenant Dave, Michael, the other assistant chief will go. So I just want to bring you up. If you have any questions, I have a formal report as I stated.
Okay. Thank you very much. I make the motion, we accept the verbal report that was presented by Chief of Police.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passed on a vote of 3-0. Fire Chief. Fire Chief has no report. Are there any board member comments?
No.
Miscellaneous business, including matters not already considered? All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.